Okay, guys, let's start the part two. Yeah, in the part two, we will see the SDG issues in the WTO system. Right, the WTO system, it is the good symbol of the regulation of trade and economic issues in the international community. Right? Then we have to make relations between the WTO system and the development issues. So recent issues on the development area, saying the SDGs, can make some kind of harmonizations in the regulation of WTO system. So in the part two, we will see the relationships between SDG issues in the WTO system. Then we'll see the law or regulations for these jobs. Okay. Right. The SDGs in the WTO system is quite new one. Yeah, many countries, since the GATT system in the 1940s, many countries, they believe that the GATT system or WTO system even, they are their main role of these control tower is the regulation of trade issues, the trade dispute among the member countries. But recently, international community realized that the control tower, such as WTO system, must be the control tower of development issues as well. Because majority of WTO system members are developing country. Therefore, developing country, naturally, they are more interested in the development issues. So, even in the trade regulation system, that is the WTO system, even the WTO system, the majority of member countries are more interested in the development issue. So, yes, now we may say that new assignment for the WTO system is how to make the harmonization between the development issues and the WTO system. So therefore, these assignment became a new paradigm for the WTO role. Yes, so the development issues and the WTO system must be must make the good linkage for their works. It is not easy work. However, they believe that they must do this job. Okay, let's see the main SDGs and WTO roles. Yes, we have checked the SDG issues, whole things. So among these SDGs, we can select, collect, pick up some SDG issues which are related to the WTO, the possible works. Then we can make the SDG issues in the WTO system, right? Then we can make the more strategical plan for under the selected SDGs in the WTO system, right? Let's see the goals. SDG number 2, zero hunger. No, on the hunger, food security, nutrition, and sustainable agriculture can be related to the these SDG goals. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Why we are doing the trade activities? Because we have to make money to cover the hungerness issues. So this is the very basic fundamental things. Let's move on to the SDG number 3, good health and well-being. So people must have good health conditions in a good environmental situation. So healthy lives and well-being, yeah, the well-being is becoming more important than before. So when the WTO system regulate their trade issues, they must consider these points, not just for the economic profit, but also they must think about the people's life or the health of the human beings, right? Yeah. So many WTO regulations nowadays are related to these things, well-being or health. SDG number 8, decent work and the economic growth. Yeah. Economic growth is the is natural things for the trade issues, but it's not just for the economic growth. Only not just for the profit, economic profit, but also it is sustainable economic growth. Not just for today, but also next year, 10 years later, 100 years later. So trade must be done, those kind of activities, trade activity must be done under the sustainable concept. SDG number 10, reduced inequalities. Equality, it is the very difficult things to break down the world. However, we have to do that. In the trade activities, many countries are not in the same level. Sometimes the big trade activity partners, can make the huge impact to the small trade partners. So it is not the same level. Yeah. So they have to make the balance. We have to keep the protection of small countries from the influences of the negative influences, of course, from the big boys, right? And also, human beings, the traders, have a different situation. So sometimes men and women and the other different social stances can make the inequalities. So among the countries or among the people, we have to reduce the inequality issues, and also we have to keep the balance, right? It is not easy work. So wherever the trade activities have happened, we have to consider this point, and the WTO system have to make the good regulations on these issues. SDG number 14, life below water. Oh yes, this is the very serious thing recently. The Earth, our climate is changing, right? Yes. So the iceberg in the North Pole is melting, and the level of the water of the sea is going up. So many island countries in the Pacific Ocean, for example, yeah, they are under the very risky situations. And also, the water situation below the ocean, the seas, can be changeable with the change of the climate. So the ocean, the seas, marine resources are under the risky situations. So when we do the trade works, we have to think about this point as well. The SDG number 17, the partnership for the goals, yeah, between developed groups such as Western European countries or United States, yeah, those kind of developed groups, and also developing groups in African countries, South American countries, Southeast Asian countries. These countries must be on the same level, or they must share the same goals on the trade regulations. So, the strengthen the global partnership, yeah, is the key point to make sustainable trade activities and also sustainable development of the developing countries. So, how can we make these things? Sometimes, yeah, the equality can be made. It's irony, but to make the equality, we can make them a different treatment of unequal level to cover up the gaps between developed level and the developing level, right? So yeah, so we have to improve the partnership for the goals. So from SDG number 2 to the SDG number 17, these things must be considered on the trade regulations systems. Okay, guys, let's see the trade to promote growth and reduce the poverty. Reduction of the poverty is the very basic things on the trade activities. Why we are doing the trade activity? It is because to make money. Yes. The developing country, they are doing their trade activities for making money to reduce their poverty. Yes, this is very basic thing. However, the thing is that, yeah, developing country, they have many obstacles to do more trade activity to expand their trade volumes. So sometimes the WTO system have to consider the situation of the developing countries, or they have to support the developing country to do more trade activities or to expand the trade volumes. So they are doing many works, yes, to do for these goals. To boost trade activity of developing country, the WTO system, yeah, they'll support many kind of various types of support. For example, aid for trade issues is the key word for the developing countries, especially at least developed country. The most poorest country, these country needs more information and the a kind of education or training opportunities by the WTO system. It is related to the SDG number 8, the decent work and economic growth. And also the special treatment or a different treatment for the developing country to make up the gaps between developed world and developing world. Yeah, it is related to the SDG number 10. So we can say that even if the SDG number 2 is very fundamental things for the developing country to do more trade works, can be related to the other SDG goals. And also SDG number 17, the partnership for the goals. Yeah, developing country and the developed world must make the good partnership to expand the trade volumes among them or among the developing country. Yeah, so they have to help the developing country under the umbrella of WTO systems. Yeah, so and also many other things. For example, realizing the timely implementation of duty-free and quota-free market access for the developing country to do that. Especially for the LDC country, the least developed countries, they have to have more opportunity to jump onto the swimming pool of the international market. So if they have more chance, they can make more money to make money. Yeah. So it is also related to the SDG number 17. So basically, WTO system must support the developing country to do more, trade activities. This is a very fundamental things, and WTO system, they believe that it is the first step of the support. Okay, let's see another point. The trade as long-term strategy against the hungerness. Yeah, sustainability issues is not just one point benefit, but also, it is everlasting benefit is expectation of the SDGs. So when the WTO system support the developing country, they must see in the long-term view. So the transparent and the well-functioning global agricultural market, it is very essential point, the wide strategy to end the hungerness, achieve food security, and improve nutrition. So, who human beings in the world, we have to understand the importance of the agricultural area. But you know that mainly the agricultural area is related to the developing countries industry. Not 100%, but they believe that agricultural area is not so effective to make their economic benefit. So many developing countries, they tried to abandon the agricultural area. However, if we do more the agricultural area, then the agricultural area also a good industry to make money. So developing countries, they have to end the trade restrictions or distortions in the world agricultural market. And then they have to participate in the global trade. Yeah? And then we can expect the sustainable agriculture industry, the development agriculture industry. Then what happens? Yeah, human beings, they will have more food, more, they can avoid the hungerness. Okay? So this is also important point. So agricultural productions must be circulated in the international market. They boost this point, and then developing country, they can enjoy more food and to avoid the hungerness. Okay? Right. Let's see the trade and environment. Sustainable issues are directly related to the environment. So, when any country, if they do the trade activities, then they must consider environment effect, the conservation of and the sustainable use of oceans, seas, marine resources. Yeah, this is the very essential point on the promoting sustainable development. SDG number 14, life below waters. Yeah, this is directly related to this point. Environmental issues is not just for the pure philosophy. It is directly related to the economic issues nowadays. Therefore, trade activities are directly related to the environmental issues. Yes. So, WTO system, they are trying to do many works on the to support the trade activities considering environment, right? Okay. Flexibilities to protect public health. Public health is also important point for our lives. Good health and well-being, SDG number 3, is a very important keyword for these issues. But the thing is that developing countries still are not confident to do these works in this area. So WTO system, they have to help many things for the developing countries. And also, public health, it is also very keen things, yeah, to our lives. So any kind of trade activities are related to must be related to the health issues. It can be also related to the environmental issues as well. So it is not easy to cut down to separate this area and this area. Sometimes one activities can be related to the good health and well-being and the environmental issues altogether. So Doha Declaration on the TRIPS agreement and the public health in 2001, they affirmed that the right to use of the full the provisions of the TRIPS agreement regarding flexibilities to protect public health. Think about that. Developing country. Yeah, they want to, the government in the developing country, they want to use the medicine, good medicine, which is invented in the developed countries to support, to protect their citizens in the developing countries. The government wants to do that. However, it is not easy to access to these medicines because it's very expensive sometimes, and also sometimes the developed world, they want to not to sell for the developing countries in the political reasons, something like that. We have experienced the COVID-19 situation. That is the good example. In the first days, the vaccines, from the developed world, the many countries, developed world, they did not want to sell their product in the developing countries. They want to sell their product firstly in the developed world, who can pay more money, and then developing countries. So international communities, they tried to persuade the producers of vaccines to sell the product, the COVID-19 vaccine product, to the developing countries as well. What does it mean that? Selling, that is trade. So when we sell our product, we must consider public health in the developing countries. So to do that, we have to have the flexibilities in our mind. To trade with the developing country, the regulations must, or standards must have the flexibilities, to regulate, to support the trade activities in the developing world, considering the public health and well-being, especially in the developing world, right? So when we see the trade issues, at least regarding the public health, we have to have the flexibilities, right? Okay, let's see another point. Trade for the energy technologies. Technology, Many countries recently, trade activities are related to the technologies. Yes, developed world, they do not want to share their very expensive technologies with developing world. Yes, so it is not easy work to have good technologies for the developing country. To understand the higher level of technologies, they need lots of money. So trading goods or services, this area, developing world have some kind of barriers to access to the higher level of technologies. We have to break down, these barriers for the expansion of the trade activities in the developing countries as well. So the SDG number 7, affordable and clean energy. This is a very important point to share the technologies or the clean energy. It is also related to the environment issues. So if developing country has the higher level of technology, considering environment, then they will have more the cleaner situation in their airs and their rivers, and even in the productions, right? So we need international corporations. So even though certain developed country have the good technologies, regarding the productions in relation to the clean energy, then these must be shared with the other countries or in developing countries. Renewable energy, energy efficiency, and advanced or cleaner fossil fuel technologies, yeah, these are very important for these days. So we believe that these things can make more, better solution for the reduction of pollution issues, right? So, we have to share the energy technologies with trade issues. We know that with the energy issues, sometimes countries can make them war, yeah? So, to reduce the war, technology issues, or energy technology is very important thing. It's one of the good examples of reduction of the trade dispute or political dispute as well. Okay, now let's see the law for the work. Until now, we have seen the SDG issues in the WTO system or a trade area. So, to do that, what can you do? WTO system has many rules on the works. So, considering those kind of areas which we have checked before, then we will see the laws for that works. Okay. Firstly, we will see the special and differential provisions for a developing country to treat in different ways the developing country or a special situation. You may say that it is very far from the principle of WTO system. Yes, it is. WTO system, based on the several principles, one of the important principles is equality. So developed world, developing world must be treated equally. But this is the very ironical things. We know that developed world, developed countries and developing country, they are in the different starting point, right? So when they start the different point, the race is not justified. So sometimes, we have to cover, let's see it this way, we have to cover the gaps between developed world and developing world. So if WTO system make the rule to cover the different starting point in this way, the same ways, then they can start from the same starting point. The race should be justified, right? So, ironically, we have to treat the different ways, the developing country, to make equal situation. You may say that it is not an unequal thing, but for long times we believe that it is not equal things, but nowadays WTO system and many member countries, they believe that it is equal things. Unequal treatment for the equal research, they can be justified. Okay, guys, let's see the special and differential provisions in the WTO agreement. Well, to do the sustainable development goal issues, the WTO systems they made a special treatment provision. In the WTO rules, they have many these kind of special and differential treatment provisions. For example, WTO rules, they will make the very exceptional provisions only for the developing countries to treat them in a different ways, not equal ways from developing members. You may say that it's unequal things, but for their goals, for the equal result, they made these special provisions. For example, the special provision may provide longer period for implementing agreement or commitment only for the developing country. And also, sometimes the provisions can provide more opportunities for the developing countries. And sometimes the provisions can make some kind of special treatment for the developing country regarding safeguard issues. Sometimes the provisions may permit the developing country to have special support from WTO system to make the infrastructure for the trade activities, right? In that way, they can make some more better information training course or technical assistance, etc. The most important things, LDC countries. The least developed countries, in a different words, the poorest countries in the WTO systems, they must have very, very special treatment for their trade activities. Yes? So these kind of special and differential treatment provisions may make special project or plans or policies of WTO system to treat developing countries to make more opportunities to participate in the trade activities in the international communities. Right. Let's see the examples of these provisions. The agreement establishing the World Trade Organizations, they specify that the international trade should benefit the economic and development of developing countries and least developed countries. They, clearly mention this point. And the GATT, the General Agreement and Tariff and Trade, they have the special articles on this point as well. So these provisions can make WTO system to treat developing countries in a different ways comparing to the developed world. So, and then with these provisions, they can justify that different treatment, under the equality principles. Okay, let's see the another examples. Enabling growth in the developing countries, which is made in the in 1979, long time ago. This the official name is Decisions on Differential and More Favorable Treatment, Reciprocity, and a Fuller Participation of Developing Countries. It is also special provisions for developing countries to participate on the trade activities in the international community to support developing countries. The GATS, the GATS, the General Agreement on the Trade in Services, also have similar similar provisions on for the developing countries. TRIPS, There is the agreement on trade-related aspect of intellectual property right. Yeah. These agreements also have special provisions for the developing countries to treat them more different ways comparing to the developed member countries, right? Okay, let's see the another dimension. Recently, WTO system realized that after the establishment of WTO system, the importance of developing member state, is much more deeper and wider. So, WTO system, they realized that it's time to reconsider those kind of special treatment for developing countries. So in 2001, the WTO system, they recheck, examine the special treatment provisions in the WTO system, and then the committee, on the developing countries, they considered the issues on these special treatment provisions, and then they made the report to do more for the developing countries. So it is a review of the provisions. And then the WTO system, they tried to review and they tried to upgrade these special provisions for the developing country more than before, right? Okay. Okay, then Hong Kong Ministerial Declaration, they made further step for the legal frame. All right, let's see these points very briefly. In 2005, Hong Kong Ministerial Declaration in the WTO system, they made further step with the report from the committee in the 2001, and then they agreed that we have to make further step for the developing country. Yes, it is. So, in 2004, they made the further step, and then Hong Kong Ministerial Declaration, they reaffirmed the declaration and decision in Doha 2004. And they renew the Doha work frame, the Doha work program, and then they made detailed rules and frameworks for the issues. So Hong Kong Ministerial Declaration in 2005, they made the further step for the upgrade and renew the special provision for the developing countries. The declaration have many issues, from agricultural negotiations to the aid for trade issues. So many things, they touched special treatment for developing countries and considering sustainability of trade. So, in these many areas, WTO system must consider developing countries, environment, and the poverty reductions, and the energy technologies, and the other things, which we checked before, right? E-commerce, integrated program work, and the technical corporations, these things should be part or some part of their works for the SDG issues and for the developing countries. In 2013, another chance to upgrade more In 2013, in the Bali Ministerial Conference, they did more things. For example, monitoring mechanism on